Now, the only path for the Buffalo Bills to make it to the Super Bowl in 2025, folks, we are going to be unpacking that. We are going to be unpacking some various rumors across the NFL. And more importantly, I think we're going to have a little bit of fun today in an NFL quarterback tier maker. That is right. I'm sure you've seen these videos in the past. Have no fear. I will be uploading that separately as a video is released later this afternoon. But damn, man, happy 4th of July weekend. Tomorrow is the day. I hope each and every single one of you have some exciting plans. Friends, family, go out, enjoy the great outdoors. If you are by a large body of water, I hope you're on a boat, or I hope you're on a beach. And more importantly, I hope you're surrounded by your loved ones. But that doesn't mean that we can't enjoy a little football talk on this beautiful Thursday, July 3rd. I got to tell you, I did see my boy Cody come in and say Dan is for sure Danny, which is hysterical because all of my friends call me Danny. Like, as a matter of fact, all of my friends call me Danny, and my persona online is obviously Dan. So wild that you put that out there. But you were exactly right. I typically am an iced coffee from Dunkin' Donuts kind of guy. You know who I am. However, today I had to settle with a hot cup of Starbucks. I am not a Starbucks sort of connoisseur, if you will. I'm not a fan of the taste of their coffee. It is Dunkin' all day, every day. Shout out to everybody in the chat hanging out with me this morning. Please smash that like button as you are coming in, folks. Helps me out on a whole new level. Toward a coffee maker, so you only need to walk to the kitchen instead of Dunkin' Donuts. I have one, surprisingly enough. I really do. I typically only end up getting a Dunkin' Donuts coffee when I'm on the road or I am on the way somewhere and I need a coffee in a pinch. But that is the extent of it. We have Aiden has come in and has said, hey, Dad, we had to put down my dog yesterday, and your content made me feel better all day. Thank you for making amazing content about my favorite team. Aiden, I'm so sorry to hear that about your dog. As somebody that has gone through that, I understand that it is a trying time, and I am just so happy that I was able to provide a little bit of joy right in your world, man. Stay strong. I'm so sorry for your loss, and more importantly, thank you so much for tuning in. Folks, we are in the heat of the offseason. And when I tell you that we are in the heat of the offseason, it is when you see headlines like this. It's from the Times of India, where they said Josh Allen ditches Haley Steinfeld right after wedding to chase Super Bowl glory with the Buffalo Bills. I'm not even going to read this article. I am not going to give them what they are looking for. And granted, as somebody that walks the line of clickbaity titles, I mean, you got to know that this is the time of the year where there is virtually nothing to talk about when you're seeing things insinuating that Josh Allen has ended his marriage to go chase a ring, which, in all honesty, it was just he got married and then and then he ended up going over to mandatory minicamp and started doing his damn job. All right? Like, listen, this is exactly where we are within the offseason. And unfortunately, that's just how these things work out. Go Buffalo. We love our Bills. We can talk about the Bills any time of the day. Jose, man, you were preaching to the choir, my friend. You were preaching to the choir. Anyway, I teased today's video by saying that I genuinely believe, folks, that there is only one way for the Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl this year. And it's not so much your typical take where, oh, my God, we need to stay healthy. Yes, that is a factor. Or, oh, my God, we need to avoid the Kansas City Chiefs, which is one of those funny takes or one of those funny reasons about how we can actually get over the hump. But I got to tell you, I've said this a couple of times, and I still believe it wholeheartedly. I still believe it, that the biggest way or the largest way that we can end up making the Super Bowl this year has to be getting the 1 seed in the AFC playoffs. We have to. There is no other option for this team. If we want to make it to the Super Bowl this year, like any team, I think our best option is going to be the 1st seed. And it's not so because of home field advantage or staying healthy, right? Like, those two are key contributors as into why it is important. But how many times have we had all of these playoff blunders where we got the second seed, the third seed, the fourth seed? Folks, we need to be able to allow the Super Bowl, the road to Santa Clara, run through Buffalo. I am convinced that that is now the only way. And yes, I'm confident that this team made the right moves this offseason where we've addressed depth. So none of us are going to be having panic attacks if Christian Benford goes down and we have Jamarcus Ingram taking his place or Kyer Elam. I feel a lot more comfortable with Tre'Davious White. I feel a lot more comfortable with Dorian Strong. Perhaps he ends up making a name for himself and he makes this team. The point is that I'm feeling a hell of a lot more comfortable with our depth. But I look at this schedule, and I have been beating this topic like a dead horse. I have been, and I will not apologize. This schedule presents the Buffalo Bills with the best opportunity they have had in the Josh Allen, Brandon Beane, and Sean McDermott era to actually achieve that feat and get the first seed. There is virtually no excuse. I am looking at the first 8 games that the Buffalo Bills play this year. 8. And I got to tell you, there is a strong possibility out of Baltimore, New York, Miami, that we can walk into the Kansas City Chiefs game 7-0. The ceiling and the floor from weeks 1 all the way to week 9 is going to be either 6-0 or 7-0. That is it. Floor is 1 loss. Ceiling is undefeated. I'm saying all of this because this presents us an interesting opportunity. We have Baltimore at home. Yes, that is a good football team. In fact, I did. Oh, man, I feel guilty for laughing at this, but I feel like you need to laugh about things. I saw somebody refer to Lamar Jackson as the regular season Jackson, which I thought was very funny. Whether or not that you want to say that that's true, that is your own prerogative. But this presents our largest challenge. But what makes me feel optimistic is that this Baltimore Ravens game is in Buffalo, coming into hostile territory, a very difficult place to play. And not even so much within the winter, but also all season long with the wind factor coming off of the lake. That is something I feel like a lot of people never really point out about some of our other home field advantage factors that come into playing the Buffalo Bills. But say that we win this game. Come on, we have the Jets the next week with Justin Fields, right? A brand new head coach that has never been a head coach before, brand new coordinators. It's going to take some time for them to knock the rust off. Have Miami Dolphins on Thursday night with no offensive line. And so they ended up pulling Darren Waller away from his rap career to come play football one last time. Give me a break. Have the New Orleans Saints. I mean, who the hell is their quarterback going to be? Spencer Rat-a-tat-tat or Tyler Shuck, a brand new head coach, and Kellen Moore as well. There's obviously going to be some questions there. Have the New England Patriots, right? Right in New England, which, I mean, again, I have said if any team in the AFC East has an opportunity of beating Buffalo, I think it would be the New England Patriots, but I'm still confident, right? Followed by the Falcons with Michael Penix, a second-year rookie, semi-solid defense. Then the Carolina Panthers off of a bye week where Sean McDermott and this Bills squad is undefeated coming off of the bye. Guys, if Buffalo does not go with either undefeated or 1 loss leading up into this Kansas City Chiefs game, I feel like we should be very disappointed because this is gift wrapping us. This is serving on a silver spoon a massive leap ahead of all of the competition in the AFC for the 1 seed. This schedule is giving us a very good head start as long as we end up taking care of business. And I also don't resort to, but Dan, you do remember that Buffalo typically always drops a game that they shouldn't. Not last year. Since Joe Brady has taken over, that sort of random blunder that plagued us in seasons past prior to Joe Brady did not exist last year. We did not lose a single game that we were not supposed to. So that I feel like is a very good sign for what is to come within this organization. So zero excuse for this Buffalo Bills team not to go undefeated or one single loss prior to the Kansas City Chiefs game. Zero questions here. I see 7 games that are possible losses. They should be 14-3 overall or 13-4. We have Jesse. And you know what? I feel like that would be enough to get us to the 1 seed. Because, guys, have to look at what these other divisions are going to be playing. So you have the AFC North, and they are playing the NFC North. Okay, that's going to be a very difficult stretch. So the Ravens, the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are all going to be facing the Lions, the Packers, the Vikings, and the new look Chicago Bears, who surprisingly enough I am very high on. All right, so that competition for AFC North, who has taken that 1 seed in the past, far more significant than what the Bills are going to be playing. I mean, shit, we're playing the NFC South, and then we are also playing the AFC North. That's tough. Then the AFC West has their share of very difficult opponents as well, right? Especially within their own division. So there's no other option here, right? Like there's nothing that really is giving me an excuse. And so it's not even so much that I'm coming on here and I'm saying, I guarantee you, I promise you that we're going to get the 1st seed, right? But what I am telling you is we better. We better. This picture is painted beautifully for Buffalo to take advantage of everything that we need to. So I'll tell you what, folks, as usual, like I've been telling you in the past, I like to treat my shows like a radio show. So what I do is I always open up each and every single episode to callers. If anybody has anything that they would like to say, please do me a favor, call in, and let's talk a little football this morning, guys. I'm going to be going on ahead. I'm going to be pinning this to the top of the chat. Feel free to come in and tell me what is on your mind. I'm saying that this is the perfect path to the 1 seed for the Buffalo Bills. That is the topic of today. Do not be shy if you're planning on calling in. And I would love some new faces as well, some new faces in the call lines. Please come on in. New defense needs the show out versus the Ravens. They were the better team in the playoffs. We didn't beat them. They beat themselves. We have Gary Kreinheader has come in with an interesting take. I wouldn't so much say that, my friend. I think that Buffalo certainly did create that 1 turnover from Lamar Jackson during that fumble. And this game is a game of inches. What happened was that this Baltimore Ravens team just didn't live up to the hype, and they didn't play a full 4 quarters of football, right? So I definitely wouldn't take credit away from Buffalo for winning that game. An almost loss is a non-existent stat in the box score, my friend. We are facing off against a very good regular season quarterback. He's a very good regular season quarterback. And that's not a troll. It's true. We're just going to have to see. But do remember, with Bills versus Ravens last year, that Baltimore Ravens team has had a historically slow start for the past couple of seasons, last year specifically. Last year, Baltimore was dangerously close to starting 0-3. Yeah, dangerously close to starting 0-3. Same thing with the Cincinnati Bengals. So something to think about, right? That's going to be something that we need to put into consideration. I have 2 losses. Philly/New England. Bills get the number 1 seed. I do not hate that, Josh. I don't hate that because typically when you look at this schedule, so when you end up asking somebody, hey, what are the losses for the Buffalo Bills? Somebody is automatically going to choose 2 or 3 teams that are considered elite, right? And that's not the case because Buffalo has always proven that regardless of the said matchup, they are going to absolutely smack a team that America has fallen in love with. Last year was the Detroit Lions. I figured that was the best example. So you bringing up New England and Philly, that's interesting because this New England team, for some odd reason, has been a thorn in our side, even when they have dwindled down to irrelevance. They have still yet to refuse to be a thorn in our side. And now that you add in some Mike Vrabel, I just have a feeling that say that we were to drop to any single team within our own division, I think that the New England Patriots makes the most sense. I really do. They have certainly had the most success at beating us in recent memory. So that would probably be my pick as well. Josh is a good playoff lover, has the best stats rate in the playoffs, and still loses. I feel like that's more of a defensive stat, right? I feel like that just feeds into my narrative, Glenn, right? Like he's arguably one of the best statistical playoff quarterbacks in NFL history. Like he's arguably one of the best statistical quarterbacks in playoff history. His QBR is insane. He has like it's like 100.4 was the last time I checked. His touchdown to interception ratio is something you wouldn't believe. Is something that like you would see like maybe in like a conference in high school football that is just dominated by one organization. It's insane. It's crazy. And now I'm just hoping, man, that this year with what Buffalo has been able to do, we have finally built up our depth where say that we need a defense to make a stop, that they can. And I wouldn't be against as well, say that this team could stay fully healthy going into the playoffs. I feel like that would be ideal. We have Fange talk. I'm thinking it's the defense line that runs the Buffalo Bills. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? Dan, I've never felt better about this season. That last game at the Ralph is going to be the trip to the Super Bowl for the Buffalo Bills. Todd, you know what? And so I hate to say that I feel the same. And it's a dangerous feeling. Whether or not that's just my delusion creeping up, and I'm saying what I always say, this season feels different. This season feels different. I feel like I've said this each and every single year, but I don't know. Maybe I haven't had this sense of hopium for about a year and it feels new, but I agree with you, Todd. I finally understand. I finally feel that this team has addressed all of its Achilles heels this offseason. Lack of depth. And we hammered that defensive line. Like we invested so heavily within the defense. It was through the roof, man. We're going to have to see. But hey, listen, we have our first caller of the day. King Jamie is in the chat. What's up, man?
Oh, hey, bro. Can you hear me good?
Loud and clear.
Awesome.
So I see you're not working today. You have the day off?
Yeah, man. Got the day off. Got the next couple of days off. So I might go do some fishing, having some coffee with a little bit of Irish whiskey in it.
Dude, best way to take your coffee, I got to tell you.
I'm telling you, bro, it's good to have a day off. I'll make the son drive, and he'll take me out to the fishing hole and drive me home.
So you're in Missouri, right?
No, actually, I left Kansas. I'm actually a Kansas fella myself, but I left there some years back and moved out to Utah. Let me see if I can.
I love Utah.
You know, it's pretty nice. There's a lot of money here to be made, and so
yeah,
Utah was a nice central place for me because I was a land surveyor, and I made my money and retired a little bit early. But
that's awesome.
So I went to one of my richest clients and asked him if he wanted to throw me in a machine and have me do some excavating for him.
Sick.
And so that's what I'm doing now, man. So kind of.
How close are you to Salt Lake or Zion?
So I'm up north of Salt Lake, closer to the Idaho border than to the city.
Okay, cool, man.
No, Salt Lake's all right.
Wanted that. And so I've always wanted to go to the Zion, man. I'm like really big on national parks.
Yeah. I tell you what, man, anything I want to do that's outdoorsy is within 30 minutes of my house. I mean, I can walk 150 yards and be on a mountain. Just no
Dude, I'll tell you what, I'm envious, man, because like I was born in Buffalo, obviously, but then I moved to South Carolina right in a beach town when I was like 13. My dad had enough of shoveling driveways.
Wait, where?
So I lived in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina from the time that I was 13 until
That's right.
a
I
couple years ago.
remember.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
you
then now I'm
were
in
there when I first kind of met you guys, huh?
Yeah, exactly. But then I moved to another beach town in Florida, and I gotta tell you, I'm envious, bro. Dude, I would trade places with you in a heartbeat. I need to be by the mountains. I'm over beach towns. It's obviously I've never been tan in my entire life, bro. I've given up on the beach life and me trying to look all bronzy on a boat. It's not happening. I
Yeah.
gotta get to the mountains, man. I'm gonna get there one day. I promise you that.
Well, and I go travel, and so I get my fill of beaches when I go overseas,
Yeah,
or
I
you
know.
know, go to the Caribbean or the Mediterranean or something. I get my fill of the beaches. So it is nice to be in the mountains. I mean, in Kansas, it was so goddamn flat. I could stand on a can of tuna with binoculars and see the back of my own head. You know, that was
Dude.
terrible.
Dude,
There
hell,
wasn't any
man.
trees. You know, I mean, it was
Yeah.
just flat and wheat fields. And eastern Kansas was cool because it was like really wet. There's lots of rivers and streams and trees and stuff. But out here in Utah, it's like a high mountain desert. It's gorgeous, bro. And yes, absolutely go to Zion. Check out Bryce Canyon. That's a scary ass drive, especially if you're used to the lowlands. You get up there and you're 3 miles looking straight down off of this side of this mountain. It's beautiful, bro.
Oh, God. My God. What's on your mind today, man?
You
What's
know,
on your football mind today?
I've been talking to, and also on the YouTube, seeing a lot of Ravens fans and
Okay.
Ravens supporters talking about how they are the powerhouse of the AFC. That shit
Bro.
drives me nuts. You guys worked your asses off to be up here with the Chiefs, you know, and
Right?
they're discounting your team and my team, and we
Yeah.
both know who the best teams are. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, if it's going to be 1 and 2, I figure we're just going to swap places for once or twice, you know, and
Yeah.
just roll
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
I think
So Bills fans, I'll tell you what, like this right here is a Bills and a Chiefs fan agreeing that Ravens fans need to be humbled.
gosh,
Right?
dude, what are they going to do? They're not going to get a Super Bowl with Harbaugh as long as Andy Reid is still there. Andy Reid knows all their dad's trick plays, and that's all they use. You know,
And that's all.
I mean,
Well, it's so my biggest thing is that it's the same story each and every single year for them. And listen, I totally get it that Buffalo has yet to prove that they can get past Kansas City, but at least we go out there and we put out dominant performances and it's an
yeah,
actual quality
yeah,
game and it's more of a game of inches where one play when Kansas City's right way. Like
yeah.
Baltimore literally falls apart in the playoffs.
Mm.
Like they have not had an impressive playoff performance, I think, in the entirety of Lamar Jackson's career in the NFL.
Yeah,
I don't get it. I
they'll
don't get where it
they'll
yeah,
nail down a weaker team. You know,
yeah,
like the Texans. Everybody knew that was like it was like the second string playing against starters. Like the Texans were really new at this, and they were worried in the playoffs. And sure, a team's going to be able to knock them out. You know, maybe look good doing it. But boy, you're going to run up against one of the heavy hitters, the real gunslingers, before you get to the end of it. And they
yeah.
can't. They just. I love the talent they've got, and as much as I dislike Harbaugh, he's one of the greatest coaches. You know, the guy's just
No,
really stinking good at coaching football. All
he's
the
good.
Harbaughs.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
he's
yeah,
good.
but they need to get a little bit off of this little high horse because they're gonna get mollywopped again. I
So
think
it's really
the
yeah.
only team that I see that really is going to be the biggest competition is Buffalo, and it's been like that for years now.
And so I gotta tell you, like, who else has been cocky too? Bengals fans have been cocky.
Now I haven't seen that so much. Bengals
Yeah.
fans are kind of like the ones that I have talked to like in real life and stuff. They're pretty humble about it. They're like, "Hey, this is kind of fun, you know. Maybe we could do pretty good." They're not being like, "We're gonna kick your butt," you know. They were
Yeah.
actually being pretty cool. I realized that online that there's gonna be trolls everywhere and stuff.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. In
Yeah.
fact, one of our guys over at Roundtable Sports, his name is Zim, right? He's a Bengals creator. Love the guy. But damn, man, like you would think that this Bengals team is the greatest team of all time
I
for
mean,
just
Joe
making a
Burrow's pretty
single
stinking good,
appearance.
bro.
Yeah, no. He's really, really good. But the problem is it's the team that has always bothered me.
Uh,
It's starting to smell like that if Cincinnati continues to be what they have been, ignoring, right,
mm,
the importance of their defense.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
eventually going to demand a trade. He's
You know
eventually
what? It's been a long time since I saw the Bengals have a great defense. I mean, they've had
been
really good
he's been
defenses,
bad.
but to be able to even it out and have a great offense and a great defense, there's 3 or 4 guys that take all the money from their team, so they can't afford to do it. It's kind of like
Yeah.
Miami's situation. You're never going to get there until people start taking deals and staying at the team to try to create a dynasty. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, Brady did it. He showed us how to do it. We watched him from the sidelines, losing our ass every season, going, "How in the hell are the Patriots doing this every year?" Well, they're taking deals. You got guys that are the root, the foundation of a team,
Mm.
and some of them want the giant bag. Well, that's not going to keep the team good enough to keep your stats up. Because
Exactly.
Chris Jones wanted a great big bag, and he ain't had a goddamn sack since. You know, I mean, he's been good, and you have to double team him every time, but he's on his own out there basically because he took a shit ton of money. You know, Mahomes took a shit ton of money, and then he went, "Oh, let's restructure this. My good God, I don't need this much money. Let's get a
Yeah,
team." You know,
exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, you can. To me, receivers are interchangeable, but your line isn't. You've
Yeah.
really got the linemen need paid more. I would like to advocate for that. The linemen are the biggest boys out there. I
Pay the
bet.
big men, man. Pay
Yeah,
the damn big men, bro.
yeah. I bet without them, it's gonna be really hard to get to a playoff. You know,
Oh, yeah.
it's just gonna be
Yeah.
slaughtered. So
Oh,
how
yeah,
about
dude.
pay
Like, they
them and
need
get the best ones of them instead of some Tyreek Hill that's just gonna cause havoc and make your team look bad. You know.
Have to, have to. Well, hey, Jamie, listen, man, I always appreciate you calling in, showing a little bit of love here on the show, dude. Have a
Right
happy
on, bro.
4th of July, my friend.
You too, man.
And hey, man, you are always welcome to call in, man. Love chopping it up with my
Thanks,
boy.
brother. Good luck, bro.
Peace, man. Shout out King Jamie, man. Shout out King Jamie, man. He has some beef with Ravens fans in the chat, ladies and gents. Has some beef with Ravens fans thinking that they are the cream of the crop in the AFC, although that playoff performances are just not there. Guys, listen, if you want to call in and tell me what's on your mind about the Buffalo Bills and or whatever is going on, please feel free to do so. Topic of the day, obviously, best path to the Super Bowl, bar none, by and large, obtain the 1 seed. And I got to tell you, based off of the schedule I'm looking at here, it's essentially gift wrapping it for us. There would be no excuse for us not to take advantage of this. Burrow, Chase, and Higgins won't allow the defense to get paid. And Sean actually brought up a great point earlier. Like, that Super Bowl run had everything to do with their defense. Like, that defense, from the same defensive coordinator that was fired, held Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid to one of the worst advanced metric performances I've ever seen in my entire life. To this day, quality defensive performance. And it's the defensive coordinator's problem. Had nothing to do with the fact that she didn't want to pay these guys, and personnel was not much of an issue. But that is indeed me. We have Brantley Bird has come in, no injuries. 2, get the 1 seed. 3, beat the Kansas City Chiefs. It's the formula. Sir Dannington, will the new stadium have a new name? F. Lamar, F. Tua, let's go Buffalo. From what I understand, based off of construction of the brand new Buffalo Bills stadium, I believe Highmark still has the rights for a couple of years, so it will indeed be Highmark Stadium. However, nicknaming the stadium is going to be up to Bills Mafia. Several of us still refer to Buffalo or the Bill Stadium as the Ralph, at least I do. So now I'm looking forward to seeing what traditions are actually created within the Buffalo Bills Stadium. And you know what? I'm actually kind of curious. I kind of want to see a status update. I want to see what it's looking like because, man, I'm ready for this new stadium. And I got to tell you what, I have to give credit right to the Ralph because I had a lot of memories in that stadium. And I am so glad that I'm going to be able to share that experience one last time while I am up there. Week 3 against Miami in the Caesar Sportsbook Lounge with a lot of my friends that like to come and join and hang out. But I mean, look at that, dude. Shout out to the construction crew, brother. Shout out to the construction crew, man. We are indeed coming together. This is going to be a cathedral of football. A cathedral of football, ladies and gents. I want to see what else is going on with the stadium, seeing if anything else is coming up. Did anyone see Hamlin on Sports Center at the Pirates game? Okay. All right, look at that. I'm not really seeing a lot of stadium updates here. Let me see. There it is. That's what I'm talking about. Ooh. It's just going to be great, man. I feel like no one's going to be upset about it. Filthy dollar bills. What's up, Dan? And do you think this will be Brady's last season? If so, who will be taking his place? Internal, maybe. Go Bills. So I got to tell you what, man, that is a fantastic question. And I will start off by saying that I was shocked that Joe Brady did not receive a head coaching position earlier. I really don't. I was absolutely shocked that Joe Brady did not get a head coaching offer this season. He was asked to interview, I wanted to say, for the Saints and then also for the New York Jets. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think those were the only 2 invites from various NFL organizations. But I feel like we were pushing our luck. And I feel like I've been reflecting back with how the Brian Dable situation went, because who remembers, I want to say it was 2020 or maybe 2021, the year after when Josh Allen really blew up. I'm pretty sure it was 2020. That was the year, or no, maybe it was 2019, something like that. But there was an off season where we all thought Dable was for sure going to get a head coaching position. Didn't, stayed one more year as offensive coordinator, and then received a job. I feel like we're watching the same movie play in front of our eyes. And it's well-deserved. What Joe Brady does with this Buffalo Bills offense is a symphony. It is beautiful. He has a very unique way of getting the most out of, for lack of a better term, non-elite NFL talent. He is known to moneyball a wide receiver one, as many of you are familiar with how I do it here and there, by making sure that you can end up getting a speed guy, a route runner, a yards after the catch, all 3 traits that you would like to see in just one individual, but then separating it out and getting the most out of all 3 of those guys. Like, he is brilliant with formation, with running the damn football. He's going to get a damn job. 110%, 0 questions. 0 questions asked. I would say, however, as far as his replacement, like, Buffalo is known for promoting internally. I don't know who the next offensive coordinator would be. Maybe the quarterback's coach. I would be shocked if we brought somebody in. We have 6 rings in the chat. What's going on, man? How you doing? Yo, what's up?
How's it going?
Oh, hey, man, I'm living the dream. How about yourself?
Oh, I can't see you. Usually people put the double screen.
Yeah, man. We're doing a radio right now, radio station.
Radio. But I like the idea, of people calling in. It's a good thing to your show. Not every day.
It's cool, man. It's nice because, like, I like reading the chat, but sometimes I just miss stuff. So say that I can find.
And you should do it for your subscribers, especially on your other show, the AFC Roundtable.
Yeah,
I think
man.
we
I
should
see you're a
dedicate
Pats fan.
a few days, 1-2 days, just for call-ins, and
Yeah,
keep the brand
it's
growing. My family worked in restaurants, right? And it's good to be creative.
yeah, man,
But
most
I think it
definitely.
would benefit. Yeah.
Yeah. We had that actually last season, and how I'm structuring this show, I think we're going to be implementing this right into AFC East as well, where we
That's a good
sporadically
idea.
end up bringing in some fans, specifically after a game that's going to piss somebody off, because people want to talk like when they're pissed off, like when they're celebrating, not so much. But when
Yeah.
something doesn't go the right way on Sunday or Thursday night or Monday night, man, it's sort of like how Barcel does the shred line. So I appreciate the feedback. A Patriots fan, man, what's going on?
Nothing, just work. I work at the hospital, so day off, it's hard to catch in on all the shows.
Yeah.
But it's nice to catch up.
Yeah, for
and
sure,
I think
man.
with all the chaos in Buffalo and going on in Miami and New York, the Patriots, if Drake May improves, the Patriots can surprise a lot of people this year.
So I got to tell you what, man, it's funny because I do actually get a lot of shit from Bills fans and even people on the AFC East roundtable, and they call me a Patriots sympathizer. And I will tell you, I said out of any team that I think will play Buffalo the toughest and have an opportunity of splitting with the Buffalo Bills, it's going to be the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
I'm very high on Drake May, man. I really am. I'm sorry, Bills fans. I'm high on Drake May. I think he has a lot of promise. I do.
And my last thing is this. What if you guys lose again this year and Josh Allen loses to the Bengals or he loses to the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys do? Do you rebuild? Do you restructure? Because you guys have been restructuring for a good 7-8 years now around this quarterback. Do you trade him? It's a tough one.
So my worst fear ever. And so, by the way, what's your name?
Louis,
what's going on? I'm Dan. My biggest fear will continue to be that Josh Allen follows the same path as Matthew Stafford, right?
But that's good. Matthew Stafford, he eventually won.
He did, but not with the Lions. My fear is that he has that exact same track where he spends 10 to 12 years with Buffalo, never getting there, but then he ends up getting traded or he ends up going to a new team, and the following year he ends up winning it all. So I feel like the question when it comes into Buffalo is like not so much of what the fans want, because I'll be honest with you, I probably know about 40% of the fans wanted them gone this like previous offseason. But our owners, and so I'm not sure whether or not you're a hockey guy, but they also own the Buffalo Sabres. And the Sabres, as I'm sure you know, have been the laughing stock of the NHL for quite some time.
But man, your Bills team,
14, 15 years.
Like, you guys don't consider previous Super Bowl titles, which you should. You guys had some good players back in the 50s, the 60s. It's important to recognize it. Because if we just go Super Bowls from 68, we're disregarding almost 50, 60 years of history and great players. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we do. Like we have 2 AFL championships right before we ended up. And like what really pissed me off was that we ended up winning them 2 years right before we were brought into the NFL. We won the final AFL championship before the NFL ended up coming. So that's unfortunate. But as far as what the Buffalo Bills would do, as much as it pains me to say, I think that we would just go out and just slightly reload. I don't think that we would ever need to rebuild. Like last year, I think was probably the largest example of a rebuild that this team has ever seen under Josh Allen, where we walked away from a lot of defensive pieces.
I know, but I'm asking, are you willing to move on from Josh Allen? If you lose this, no. Because the narrative always is with the Bills. You can't beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, it is.
And you can't win the conference game. Like Drew Bledsoe for us. He won 2 conference games.
Yeah.
So he came to you guys, ironically.
Yeah. It's tough, man. So how I look at it all is that like you can only go to each season with optimism. And I hate to like go into the excuse field. And it is an excuse, right? But like really at the end of the day, I feel like a team is only as good as the personnel that is active during that game. And for the past couple of seasons, man, we always end up catching the injury bug at the absolute worst time. It sucks, like, when we're going out there against Kansas City. Like, last year, we had an absolute bum having to cover Xavier Worthy, who ran a 4.23. And the year before, we had a linebacker that was literally recruited off of the couch to play linebacker and cover Travis Kelce.
I know, it's kind of
And because
cursed.
we were screwed. So it's like, my strategy going into this season is just hope that we have mercy from the football gods, that for
it would
the
be
love
nice,
of all that is holy,
win.
we stay healthy when Kansas City comes to town. Like, that's all I can say. Because when healthy, that's half of the reason why I think that we're so dominant with Kansas City during the regular season. Because we're fortunate enough to where we actually have our full-fledged team. Like, you compare the injury reports leading up to a regular season matchup with Kansas City and the injury reports lining up right before a playoff matchup with Kansas City for the past 2 times, it's staggering. So
I know.
We fired our strength and conditioning coach because we had an epidemic of wrist injuries last year.
Yeah, it's been rough.
I'm not sure how much that's going to change. I really think that injuries are just sporadic and it happens, and these strength and conditioning coaches may impact it a little bit, but it's not significant. But it's, dude, you know what? Like, this sounds like a cop-out, but I would absolutely love if somehow Buffalo got the 1 seed this year and somehow we had the
done
Bengals
it before, and the
or
narrative
the
always
Ravens
will
take
be,
care of them.
the narrative's always Kansas City. It's always the narrative, even if you guys have a perfect season. You beat every team. You go perfect. You don't lose a game. They're still going to say, can they beat Kansas City? It's still going to be a narrative no matter what you do.
It's going to be it. But, dude, you know what? As long as we end up, like, raising a Lombardi and say that, like, the Chiefs end up getting first rounded by the Ravens or the Bengals or something,
now,
then
you guys
somehow
will go 34-0 the next 2 years, and it'll still be the same narrative. It's the Chiefs. It's on everything on ESPN. Josh Allen can't beat Mahomes. He can't win the conference game.
I mean,
he can't
dude,
beat
listen,
Joe Burrow.
So it's a shitty narrative. It completely drives me nuts, but it's tough for me to come on this screen and say that it's not true. It is true.
Yeah. What happens in that game? You guys get to the conference game, and then you guys fall apart. It's always that game.
Mm-hmm. It's that game. So
it's rough. The Tom Brady of this era, you guys run up against.
Dude, I know, right? Like, we had to deal with Tom Brady for 20 years in my life.
The AFC,
I know.
Like, I think you guys would have at least made 1 Super Bowl, 1 finals or something.
It's tough to speculate, but, like, I've said this a couple of times, where if Buffalo was in the NFC, then I guarantee you that we would have made it to about 2 or 3 Super Bowls already.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, we would have made it to about 2 or 3.
Along. Now Mahomes comes along. Joe Burrow comes along.
Exactly. We can't catch a damn break around here, man. We can't catch a damn break. But it's funny because, like, I regularly have this conversation with everybody in the chat, and I say, what would hurt you guys more, right? Losing to Kansas City again in the AFC Championship, or finally beating Kansas City this year in the AFC Championship, but then losing our 5th Super Bowl. What would hurt more, Bills Mafia? Let me know. I am at odds. I don't know. Maybe it's because I was in diapers when the Buffalo Bills ended up going through their 4th Super Bowl stretch. So I'm saying, let's just make it. We'll be good. But I feel like there's
a bad narrative, because if you lose, then you guys lose to Mahomes again. But if you lose again, it's 0-5 in the Super Bowl. It's like a double-edged sword.
Exactly, right? So it's getting to a point where I'm like, I feel like I would rather lose to Kansas City than finally beat them and then take a 5th Super Bowl L. If
Josh
Buffalo,
Allen, he can win MVP, he'll never get the recognition. You know what I mean? They will never put him on the floor. He's a great quarterback. He can get touchdowns. I see him literally rushing for touchdowns because your guys are just go cold sometimes. He carries you guys.
Yeah.
Like, if you lose Josh Allen, you guys might win 5 games, 6 games.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what, man. Say that the exact same thing happens this year, and so I don't see this happening, but Sean McDermott would be gone a hell of a lot sooner than Josh Allen would be gone.
Yeah, you need him. He's good.
Yeah.
If he wins that one thing, he just needs that 1 Super Bowl.
That's it, Louis. Well, Louis,
All right,
listen, man, I
I'll let
appreciate
other callers call in now.
Well, hey, Louis, I appreciate you, man.
All right,
Thank
see
you for
you.
coming in. Best of luck to your Patriots this season, of
Hey,
course, with
man,
the exception to your Buffalo.
I think we're gonna surprise a lot of people.
I'm looking forward
You
to
know
it.
Stephon Diggs. You know how good he is when healthy.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what he does over in New England, Louis.
We
I
got
appreciate you,
Henderson.
man.
We
You
got
enjoy.
Steven. We're gonna surprise some people.
Hell yeah, man.
Milton, we're gonna surprise some people. It may not be the 1 seed, but we can get 6, 7. We can surprise some people this year.
Hell yeah, Louis. Hey, man, listen,
right,
you
I'll
enjoy
see
your
you,
4th of July. I appreciate you. It's my guy over there, man. Look at that. It's funny. Listen, I have the call lines open. All right. And I've had a Chiefs fan and a Patriots fan call in. Bills Mafia, do not be shy. We're opening up some conversations right here. I'm going to answer a couple of questions in the live chat, and then we're going to get into a quarterback tier making list because I don't know. And so I'm just feeling super judgmental this morning. So we are going to rank all the quarterbacks in the NFL here in a hot second. 251 of you are in the chat rocking with me this beautiful Thursday, July 3rd. Please do me a favor, guys. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn on bell notifications. I am live Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. EST, bringing you all of the news surrounding your favorite football team, along with some tidbits across the NFL. It's the Don Mafia Report, baby. Let's lock in. Spidey Munn, my boy, out of Chat Vegas, Tennessee. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Dan, my buddy is a Falcons fan, and I was telling him about your show. Is there an NFC roundtable for his division? Spidey Munn, woo! My friend, do I have some news for you? Yes, we do, as a matter of fact. Roundtable Sports has a divisional show for each and every single division in the NFL. It is called the NFC South Roundtable, in case you're intrigued on this one. It's this beautiful little logo, a rendition of what we have. And we have these 4 creators associated. We have Mr. Bucks Nation. He is a Tampa Bay Buccaneers YouTuber, very talented. Smitty's Sports Machine. He is a Atlanta Falcons contributor, very talented. State of the Saints podcast, and the Ropstar Report, who covers the Carolina Panthers. Very good friend of mine as well. So, yes, indeed we do. For those of you that perhaps are wanting to figure out some more content about that divisional side of things, we have a show for each and every single division. And we end up leveraging our already existing creators that have their own set audience. So the live chats are absolutely insane. A bit toxic, but we love that. We have an AFC West roundtable too for my good friend I Miss 43. He is also a Kansas City Chiefs fan that I am indeed a fan of. Cool guy. Have a great relationship with him over on X. Highly recommend you guys check those out. We have a brand new AFC West roundtable with an entire new cast launching this year. Have an AFC North roundtable. And then, of course, we are launching our college football brand, in which your boy is going to be hosting this year. So stay tuned. Stay tuned with that, folks. Stay tuned. We have a lot of things going on at Roundtable Sports. Thank you for the question, Spidey Munn. Chat Vegas, Chattanooga, Tennessee, my friend. When are the other division roundtables starting up again? Brandon Hallam is coming in. We are beginning in August, the week of August 3rd, and then we will continue, my friend, all the way throughout February. So stay tuned for all of that, indeed. I have Richie shooting me a text. Give me 10 minutes. Look at that. Brandon, that's my boy. We have King Jamie. Happy birthday, Porter. Happy birthday, Porter. That's exciting. Happy birthday, indeed. Happy birthday to the guy. Folks, I have some bad news. I thought that I was going to be able to run the show a little bit longer, but I just remembered that I have a business meeting with Richie and on a certain boring internal project that we are working on over at Roundtable. So I'm going to have to hop off. I just want to say thank you for each and every single one of you showing a little bit of love, joining me. I am live typically Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. EST. Tomorrow, though, I am going to be taking the day off. We have the boat lined up. I'm going to be on a boat all day celebrating this damn beautiful country that we all live in here, brother. I promise you that. And I hope all of you do the same. So subscribe and turn on bell notifications. I will be posting a bunch of short form content on TikTok, on X, on Instagram. And you can find me at Real Dan Mitchell on all of those platforms in case you miss me. All right. And I will see you guys here a bit later. Dan, hope you had a great birthday yesterday. Great show as always. I will call in tomorrow. Awesome. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Monday indeed. And then Eric has said, I have not been on a boat since the ferry to Cozumel from Playa del Carmen in 2019. I love Playa del Carmen. I love you guys as well. Smash that like button, and we will see you a bit later on Roundtable Sports 4th and Forever. Peace.